every lifetime comes a love like this. Oh, I need you, you need me. Oh, my darling, can't you see? Young ones, darling, we're the young ones. The young ones shouldn't be afraid to live, love. There's a song to be sung. Cause we may not be the young ones.
Cause we may not be the young ones very long. How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Good to have you here, as always. So this week, we're taking a look at the young ones. Yeah, the 80s cultural phenomenon that took the world by storm, and the show that represented so many subcultures that were never represented on mainstream TV. So this one is for the skins, the punks, the metalheads, the hippies, the ladies' men, and everyone else who was left out but felt completely right at home with the young ones. So when I was about 11 years old, growing up in very conservative New Zealand in a country and western household, I was a bit on the fringes because I liked this really, really horrible music, as my mother described it, heavy metal. I was a fan of new wave of British heavy metal, so Motörhead, Saxon, Iron Maiden, yeah, that was it for me. I love that music. But no one else did, especially in New Zealand. TV shows at the time kind of reflected that. All the youth TV shows.
So that's settled then. We'll organise a protest against school uniforms.
Great! We can use the banners left over from the last protest we organised so that racism wouldn't be an issue in this school.
Good, then that's what we'll do. I'll get Mucker, Trucker, Ducker and Sucker. You get Spades.
But I am Spades!
If you're a skinhead or a punk or a metalhead or a hippie or anything like that, the only representation you got in those shows was as a freak. Someone who's on the fringes of society and, just should be looked down upon. That was until the young ones hit our screens. Well, exploded through our TV screens.
Raise the People's Army and seize control of the state. Oh no! The front door's exploded.
It wasn't just a comedy show. It was a cultural phenomenon that exploded like a nuclear bomb going off. So why did the show have such a massive impact? Why did it have such a broad appeal? And it appealed to everyone. All of my friends at school loved the show. We all quoted it, and it didn't matter if you're into punk or metal or even country. Everyone loved it because it had something for everyone. But let's look at the characters that made it so. It's actually about 4 young uni students who attend Scumbag College.
And representing Scumbag, we have Mike, Prick, Vyvyan, and Neil.
Vegetable rights and peas.
And the show revolves around their antics and their hijinks and getting into everyday life. Also covered politics,
Thatcher's bloody Britain.
music, and everything else that was relevant to teens at that time. And the characters were definitely a representation of the people of that time. Starting off with everyone's most hated, Rick. His name is actually spelt with a silent P.
Prick, Vyvyan.
The poster child of socialists, communists, anarchists, those teens that believed that they had an answer for everything.
I think old people
They
are
could
really
quote
boring.
Trotsky while asking their mum for lunch money. He was also the people's poet.
Oh, come on, Judge Mike! He's obviously a complete bastard! Let's hang him!
But I'm the people's poet, the spokesperson of a generation. Kids everywhere look to me for inspiration.
Oh, people's poet, don't die. We'll kill ourselves if you do. But first, we're going to take off all our clothes.
Oi!
Yes. He was a revolutionary. He was a poet. He was an artist.
We're going to victimise you.
Oh no! Who can help us now?
Oh no, people's poet.
Gosh, people's poet. Is it really you?
Yes, it is. And you pigs are in for a pretty big shock.
Right on.
He believed that everyone loved him. No one actually did.
Hands up, who likes me?
You know, but Rick represented all those kids who wanted to change the world but couldn't even change their jocks.
You know what they say? Dirty pants, clean botty.
And then you have the much loved Hippie.
Would you like a cup of herbal tea?
Yeah, everyone loves a hippie, right? Yes, Neil, the consummate hippie, the vegan, stoner.
Have a bang of this number, mate.
The harbinger of occasional weird wisdom.
Wow. It's as if the kettle's killed itself rather than be used by me.
That was Neil. Neil, orange peel. And all he ever wanted was everyone just to get along. You know, Neil was also really depressed and often talked about ending his own life.
It's my last supper, right? I finished building my gallows and it's totally far out. You should see it, Rick. Like when the trapdoor opens and I die, it lights joysticks and plays Rock Around the Clock. It's totally amazing.
And attempted it on several occasions.
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Well, that's put the rent up by a third.
Which just added further to his depressive state.
I really screwed that up, didn't I?
But again, there are so many people who could relate to that character. And then, of course, you have the leader of the flat, Mike. Mike, the cool person.
Mike, the cool person, stays steady as a rock while all around him is chaos. He checks his reflection. That's good. That's very good. That's the only way to go.
The quintessential ladies' man who never actually had a lady.
Take fancy on me. I seem to have done it again. What can I say?
Well, how about, oh, Mike, please put your hand up my skirt.
He was the epitome of every teen male libido. Mike was also a consummate con man and a crossover between Elvis and a car salesman. But he could really sell you something. He had all these amazing dreams of being famous and being rich. And of course,
Like there's records and tapes, videos, overseas sales, cable TV.
and of course being the penultimate ladies' man.
It's our song, baby. Let's dance.
But everyone loved Mike because so many times he was that voice of reason.
Right, no, forget it!
This is actually very serious.
And then, of course, last but not least, my man, my favourite character, Viven Bastard. That guy who represented punk, metal, skins, everyone on the outskirts. Yeah, the real rough, rebellious, angry types. The man without a purpose, even though he was a medical student.
I've got a leg!
Hey, Vyvyan, that's not unusual.
No, look! I'm supposed to write an essay on it, right? But I think I'm just going to stick it on the bonnet of my car.
Vyvyan. He was the loudest and the angriest, and everyone paid attention. When I first saw the show, the first episode, Demolition, you know, I was kind of like, oh, yeah, this is a pretty cool show, until Vyvyan burst through that wall.
Oh, fine, great, yeah. Why don't you sit in the supper, man? Yeah.
Vyvyan, you might have washed your hand.
And when he turned around and I saw written on the back of that denim jacket, very metal, I knew I'd found a kindred spirit in this guy. I went out and cut the sleeves off my Levi's and made my first battle jacket because of Vyvyan. So thank you, Vyvyan. And this guy knew no boundaries. He would just do anything and everything.
Vyvyan, where did you get that howitzer?
Found it!
Well, you can just about blow Commonwealth going, put it back this instant, young man.
I will. Just as soon as I've blown you to pieces.
Violence wasn't a problem.
Shut your face, traitor!
Board!
But he was a loving guy. Of course, he had a pet hamster called SPG, which is Special Patrol Group.
Nobody's been Special Patrol Group, have they?
Listen, Biff, this letter. I think Special Patrol Group is a stupid name for a hamster.
Okay, I'll change it then. Hello, Cliff Richard.
Oh, thanks a lot, Vyvyan. You know I'm a vegetarian.
But he was very much anti-establishment, anti-authority, and just anti-everything. Gotta love Vyvyan. Viven Bastard. But there are also many other notable characters who are regulars on the show, including Jerzy Belovsky, who is played by Alexei Sayle.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Mike, my little Thunderbird puppet. Thunderbirds are go, yeah? Come on, let's twist again. Yeah.
Who was a riotous comedian.
Hi, I'm Jerzy, crazy, wacky landlord. You know, I like very much your English punk rock stars, you know? Your Lulu, your Dave Clark Five. Oh, yes.
And he actually played a few different characters in the show, including his famous rendition of a police chief who bore a striking resemblance to Benito Mussolini.
Blow to my life looking like Mussolini, you know.
And of course the musical performance afterwards.
Whenever people bother me, when they shout and raise their voices, I don't let it get me down. I just make some stupid noises. I go! Respond, Mrs. Gandhi,
He also performed at the revolutionary concert in the Oil episode, performing the classic Dr. Martens Boots.
It's not class or ideology, colour, creed or roots. The only thing that unites us is Dr. Martens Boots. Dr. Martens gave boots to the world.
So Alexei Sayle brought a lot to the flat. He was one of the characters. Well, he was actually many of the characters. And many people could relate to him in the way that he was that nasty landlord that everyone despised, always trying to rip them off. And then he played the fascist dictator. Yeah, no one likes a fascist. Being a comic strip production, there were many other cameos from really well-known comedians, including Dawn French.
Pain away? Yes. Pain away.
Ben Elton.
And Mr. Kendall Minkick. Hi.
Stephen Fry.
Lord Snot.
Hugh Laurie.
Lord Monty.
And many, many other amazing comedians were in this show. So that made it an incredible comedy show, right? Well, that's the thing. It was actually a variety show. Yeah, it wasn't a comedy show as such. Now, the producers figured out that comedy shows only get 1 day of filming in the BBC studios, whereas variety shows got 2. So they made the decision to turn it into a variety show. That's why there were live musical performance and puppets all the way throughout and little skits everywhere, because it was a variety show. But that made it something special, because that allowed them to have live performances from many bands that were very much unknown. They were bands from these subcultures. There were ska, oi, metal, punk, new wave. It covered it all. And for many of us watching it was our first exposure to these bands. Large majority of these bands and that music didn't get radio play. It certainly wasn't aired on TV, ever. Occasionally, one of these bands, if they got popular enough, they'd be on top of the pops. But for the most part, you never got to hear these bands, so young ones brought it to our living room. Rip, Rig and Panic.
No music, my braces. What about Rip, Rig and Panic?
Amazulu. There were so many incredible bands. And then The Damned. Wow, huge band, of course. And then Madness. Yeah, that amazing, legendary ska band.
Do any of you lot know Summer Holiday by Cliff Richard?
Yeah.
You hum it, I'll smash your face in. I'll go sit over there.
Who actually performed twice.
Father wears his Sunday best. Mother's tired, she needs a rest. The kids are playing up downstairs.
The only band to be on the Young Ones twice. But then, of course, legendary Motörhead. Yes, that one clip everyone knows. It's one of the most watched of all time. Motörhead performing Ace of Spades as Scumbag College go off to compete in University Challenge with Bambi.
Yeah, so you finally made it.
Bambi, my main man. So good to see you. Looking good. Oh, bloody, you lost a lot of fur since we last met, and you're walking on 2 legs now, I see, but still the same old Bambi.
One of the greatest episodes of the entire series. So with all of that combination of music and great comedy and incredible performers, it's no wonder that the Young Ones just blew up. It became huge. After the show, they still had massive popularity. They even performed their version of Living Doll with Cliff Richard.
Kids, it doesn't matter what you are. Punks, skins, rastas, more rockers, Keith Tigrin even. Everybody everywhere, stop snogging and pay attention to me.
Talking, sleeping, walking, living doll. Got to do my best to please her just 'cause she's a living doll.
Because as we all know, Rick was a Cliff Richard fanatic.
Oh, Cliff! Sometimes it must be difficult not to feel as if you really are a cliff. When fascists keep trying to push you over it. Are they the lemmings, or are you Cliff? Or are you Cliff?
And it left its mark on everyone, but mostly because it really represented the youth of the time when no other show did. It gave us all a voice. It gave us all something to look up to in many, many different ways. And we got to experience so many new things through it. So 40 years later, that show still has that same impact. It still has the same reach. It still is the voice of many subcultures. Thanks so much for tuning in for this one. This was a really fun one for me to do. And hey, if you want to keep watching, keep supporting me, keep supporting the channel, many different ways you can do it. Buy me a coffee, you can buy my merchandise, all that good stuff. All the links are in the description below. But if you just give this video a big like, subscribe down below and hit that little bell to get notified, you'll be helping me out a lot. I will see you on Sunday for another awesome video. Have a great week, everyone. Peace out. Love and light. Vegetable rice and peace.
That was close.